Greetings, this is Polly, and this is Amelia. She's the unintended heroine of the Pathway game, in which it's funded by the British government, which would be for children first grade through 12 or 6 to 18, in which the state would tell you how to think. That's basically it. Charlie is a character in it, and he's in college. And he expected a better grade than he got. He saw the person who had a better grade and got a job offer was a black woman, or maybe an Indian, I'm not sure. He's not irked by this, and he vents his frustrations a little bit, and he has everyone else goes along the program, except one person, Amelia. Amelia's complaint is that they're taking away homes from veterans to give them to immigrants. Well, I mean, that's against the norm here. This is something, well, you have to see it itself, but in the game, you're given these choices, and you have to go through this question answer, in which you pick the wrong answer, you get in trouble by the government. I mean, things like English for Englishmen, basically. That's not what England is nowadays. There is no such thing as an Englishman, just a bunch of people living in England. Charlie and Amelia thinks there is such a thing as an Englishman, and that's who they are. Well, in it, Charlie is given education by the state, in which he has struggle sessions. This is right out of Mao's China. Struggle sessions in which he begins to realize his mistakes, and he's won over in the end, and yes, he loves Big Brother. Yes, he was wrong to think about himself. He must think about the government. Big Brother. They're correct. He's wrong. The heroine in this is unintended. It is Amelia. She's the one that struggles with him to get him to think for himself. What these people were thinking of when they created her, this game, is beyond me. Any normal Englishman playing this game would see clearly that Charlie originally was in the right and Amelia's in the right. Yes, we are Englishmen. We're going to say we are. Well, this is really 1984 stuff. Orwell already showed it. Charlie goes to struggle sessions by the state mediators. One a Muslim woman who convinces him through pressure to adopt the dictums of the state. In 1984, the lead is a guy named Winston, and he's a secret rebel because you cannot be an elected rebel. And he meets a girl, Julia. And she too is a rebel, just like this girl. And they fall in love. They know this, they get caught, they're going to be crushed. But they say to themselves, our love cannot be broken. Well, they get caught. The state reads Winston's diaries, and they know exactly what they're going to do to him. In the end, they break him. They break both of them. They denounce each other and embrace Big Brother. And that's how it ends. It's a sad ending. This one has a sad ending too, because Charlie totally accepts the dictums of the state. What happens with Amelia, I don't know, she's just a minor character. But say something about the British people, or say something about the internet. Almost immediately, the memes and other things that caught on with this Amelia character were just amazing. The voice of British freedom is this anime girl here. Well, Nothing wrong with being made, girls. I'm going to show you a couple of examples. How clever some of this stuff is.
Charlie was arrested and informed that due to an offensive tweet they had made, they were going to be charged and sent to court. As David Lammy had decided to scrap jury trials, Charlie was tried by the Labour Party-approved judge and found guilty of on indictment with an offence of inciting racial hatred, contrary to Section 19(1) of the Public Order Act 1986. The particulars of the offence being that they published and distributed written material on the social media platform X, formerly Twitter, which was threatening, abusive, or insulting with the intent thereby to stir up racial hatred, or whereby, having regard to all the circumstances, racial hatred was likely to be stirred up thereby. Charlie was thus sentenced to 3 years in prison. Charlie did not receive any visitors in prison. Their parents did not want to risk associating with such a dangerous speech criminal in case by hearing something they themselves would be committing a crime. Despite the overflowing prisons in Britain due to Keir Starmer's new hate speech laws, a space was found for Charlie by releasing a violent sex offender early, as at least they had not said anything hurtful online. Charlie was forced into re-education struggle sessions in which they were taught all about the new tiers of racial equality and social justice. Although according to the state-appointed teacher all people were equal, some people were more equal than others. Charlie tried their best to understand all these contradicting and confusing rules, but sadly they could not grasp why, for example, a one-legged Muslim man was ranked more oppressed than a polyqueer, gender-fluid, non-binary lesbian. Charlie was able to be released early on the condition their vote would automatically go to the Labour Party if there was an election in the following years, although many of these elections were being postponed indefinitely due to issues with the electoral system. Charlie knew not to question this as they didn't want to risk being sent back to re-education sessions. Whatever the great leader Keir Starmer had planned was in the best interests of the country. Charlie received a phone call from Amelia. They were very worried as despite finding Amelia attractive, Charlie thought she might get them into trouble again. Amelia explained that she was campaigning for the rights of political prisoners and the rights of oppressed people. Charlie was so relieved. If they met with Amelia at this campaign, it was for a good social justice cause, and there was no risk they would get into trouble again for thought crime. However, while they were out campaigning, a police officer approached. Charlie had not thought to question what disadvantaged groups they were fighting for. Amelia was fighting for the rights of the oppressed British people and for political prisoners who, just like Charlie, had been locked up for simply voicing their opinions online. The police officer, which were now simply known as stormtroopers, told them they were under arrest. Amelia suddenly pulled out a pistol, which was very illegal in Britain due to the government disarming the populace, and began shooting at the stormtrooper while shouting, "Die, you fucking commie pig!" Oh dear, thought Charlie, the revolution had begun.
This was a comical version of it, but the art style's the same, the voices were the same. It has a bit of a different ending. This next one's a little bit different, and a little more thought went into it. It's a little more persuasive. It's done by a teacher named Leaflet. I know Leaflet because if I come home from work, I work for 4 to 12, and I come around 1 o'clock, and I'll turn on and see what's on Twitch. Usually it's Leaflet, so I see some of her work there. But she made this video, and it's pretty clever. It's a Japanese version of the same topic, pathways topic, only done with much more artistic flair. In it, and again, copies the idea of 1984 between the lovers, Winston and Julia, who are broken in it. But this one is much more optimistic, as those two are yet to be caught by the state. Anyway, shoot to think of it.
チャーリー、イギリスのこと好き？
どうして行かないなんて言ったんだろう。君はただ僕らの未来を送ってくれていたのに。
行こう。 世界を変えに。
残念ね、チャーリー君。そんな有害な考えを持っているなんて、更生施設に入ってもらうわね。許されることではないの。
あのアメリアって子は、全く悪影響なんだよ。
文化を守りたいっていう気持ちのどこが悪いの？みんな自分の生まれた国や文化が大事なはずでしょう。悪いことだなんて私には思えない。
うん。今度は一緒に行くよ。
What has amazed me by this is that how individuals now can have the same propaganda value that the state has. Individuals have made Amelia a minor character in this government game here, a lead actress, a star. I mean, she is now a star on the internet. If you put down Amelia, you're gonna see tons of stuff on her. It blew up in the face of the British government, and this is a genie they cannot put back in a bottle. She'll be the face of the anti-Starmer, anti-socialist groups in England. And that's good. Small people now can have a big voice. That's good. What's happened in England could happen here. And if Donald Trump leaves, I suspect it will come here. I'm always worried about that. But now, so the stardom of Amelia, I'm not so much worried anymore. Will small people can have a big voice and multiplied by many times, maybe it can overthrow the effects of the government. In 1984, Paul, Winston, and Julie are crushed. They lose. But maybe in real life, we can win. Okay, so see you again. This is Polly saying goodbye.